into the Zoom, and they both flat out told me no. One's day job is picking up, and the other one doesn't have an interest in selling. And I was like, okay, maybe another time.
Those people are going to be the harder sell for sure. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
Sometimes what you could do is, just give them the scenario. Give them a scenario and just say, look, you know what? I'm not saying that you should have extra time. I'm not saying that you should do this to quit your job. I'm not saying that you should do this for any other reason than the fact that it's just simple to do. Look, if you sign up for the $100 kit, once you sign up, if you invest every month $75 into this business, right? And only takes, selling 15 pieces of jewelry in a month to make up enough money to make that $75 investment. But if you make that $75 investment every month, you always have this as something to go back on. And if other people start to see that, hey, you know what, you're making a little extra money because you're doing this, and they decide to join your team, then you've helped somebody else by doing it as well, just like you're helping me and you're helping yourself.
That's really good.
It really comes down to this being kind of like an insurance policy when you sign up. If you look at it in the fact that, yep, it costs $100 to start the policy, and then it's $75 a month. But the good thing about it is that if you sell 15 pieces of jewelry, you can easily make that payment free.
Right.
So it makes it so much easier to swallow the fact that now you have this side hustle, this side gig that you've created, but you're not really committing to anything more than the requirement of the $100 to start it and the $75 a month to keep it going.
Right. And only if you do it right, only the $100 comes really out of your pocket.
Right. And that's kind of what you're telling them is that, for $75 a month, like, seriously, think about this. Not only are you able to, every month be able to buy whatever jewelry you want to at cost, you're able to sell some of that jewelry or give some of that jewelry away as gifts or to friends. On top of that, at the same time that you could squirrel away money if you wanted to and eventually buy yourself a trip somewhere or, a new man or something.
A new man, huh? You can buy them? Is that like mail order grooms?
Right. Hey, you know what? People are into some crazy stuff nowadays. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. I'm just going to tell you how to make it.
That would be ideal if he was a good one.
Right? Hello, Heather.
Yeah.
Oh, and Heather, I'm working on that for you. I'll have that for you real soon, okay? So, that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today in this is, how to close the sale in network marketing, because I think that it's easy to approach people, but that approach sometimes makes us worried of whether or not we're going to be able to make the sale, right? And so with this, it'll hopefully give some key pointers. Hopefully you guys have paper and pen if you want to take some notes. I definitely would suggest it. And make sure that if you look around, you don't see any of your teammates in here that you think should be in here, tag or, go send them an invite and get them involved as well. Hello, Miss Marissa. I see you're out driving around doing those bling boss duties.
Right. I was just about to send out the text alert, so I'll be right back. I'm here too.
Okay. Awesome. So what's new with everybody today before we get started on this topic? I know right now, if you haven't been watching the page, then, well, first off, shame. Second off, Marissa has a Memorial Day weekend challenge going right now that is easily attained by different levels. Okay, so whether you started with, you push yourself to hit one of the lower levels, or whether you want to hit that high level, the prices are going to be different for each level. So make sure if you haven't checked into that and signed up for it, because there is a sign up, that you go sign up for it and get involved in that. And I think that ends tomorrow night, I think. The
No, it ends
details are
Monday.
there, though.
It's all
It ends
weekend,
Monday.
all the way through Monday. It's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
See,
And
there
it's
you go.
And it's either 4 hours a day or 8 hours a day. 4 hours is princess, and 8 hours a day is queen.
There you go. Yep, and I
There's
think that
actually
even,
an update to it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's an update to it, so now there's even more levels. You can be a duchess or I don't know what the other one is. A maid? I don't know. I'm not sure what the fourth level is. But there are 4 levels to it. So definitely make sure you're getting involved if you're not already. So again, today we're going to talk about the best ways to close the network marketing. Anybody have any questions before we get started? Looks good. All right. So if there's one thing about closing the deal most people learn the hard way, it's that your customers tell you how and when to do it. Of course, you have to do some practice verbiage, but they'll give you all the clues if you just pay attention and listen. This is when some salespeople can miss the ship, right? I got a couple people coming in. Let me get them in here real quick. Let's see if they got that. Hello, Brittany. Welcome.
Hello.
Brittany, this is your first time joining one of our Zooms, isn't it?
Yes, I just happened to have a minute to hop on and see what it was all about.
Wonderful. Well, since you only have a minute before we get into our topic today, let me just ask you how long you've been with Paparazzi, and do you have anybody signed up underneath you?
May 4th was my 1-year Papaversary, and I do have one active person signed up underneath me.
Awesome. Congratulations on hitting that year milestone. That's awesome. And
Thank you.
It's great that you have that one person underneath you. So are you pushing for director?
No, I've been trying to be more consistent on going live and building up my customer base. I did hit director at one point, but it's hard to keep everybody motivated and on track.
Most definitely. And I think, as Marissa teaches all of us, lead by example is the key thing. So you are making a good move and making sure that you're working your business and being that example. Just understand that it's so easy for us to help you keep those people going and train those people that really it's worth your interest to keep talking about the opportunity. Don't let time get slipped by that you could be growing your team at the same time that you're growing your business. That's a very, very important thing to kind of realize, A lot of us are afraid to start a team because we don't think we're not ready yet. But as long as you bring your teammates into the training and you're getting them involved, then you're doing what you need to do as a trainer. And we'll teach you and continue to lead you to become an even better trainer to where eventually you're doing a lot more of your own training for your own team, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Awesome. And so real quick before we get started here, if you had to pinpoint one thing that's your biggest struggle, what would it be? Oh, Dre's got something to say.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I think he.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead, Brittany.
I said consistency.
Consistency.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that if you attend some of these Zooms a little bit more often, or at least go back and listen to some of the other ones that we have, they're all on YouTube. We post them we do the Zooms every day, Monday through Saturday, and then Sunday we're off. But we do list all of them on YouTube as well. You're welcome to subscribe to it. But I think that if you follow the Zooms, it will help you with consistency, because that consistency, of course, is something that we talk about on a regular basis, but we also give you ways to help. Like yesterday, we talked about the ways to overcome procrastination, and there's ways to kind of habit stack or create habits in a way that will help you become more and more consistent. So keep following in, and see us as often as you like. And I sure love to help you in any way that we can.
Thank you.
No problem. No problem. So we've got quite a few people in here. I appreciate y'all for coming in. We're going to go ahead and get this party started here with the best ways to close the deal in network marketing. And bear with me a little bit. I'm still kind of sick, so I'm winded quite often. But I've spent the late evening and morning typing a lot of this up and like reformatting it the way I want to say it. So hopefully this will make it a little bit easier for us today. So I'm going to start from the beginning, because I just think that it's best. If there's one thing about closing the deal most people learn the hard way, it's this: your customers tell you how and when to do it. Of course, you have to have some practice verbiage, but they'll give you all the clues if you just pay attention and listen. This is when salespeople can miss the ship. They are too busy selling a product or a service. They are not listening to what the prospects are saying. How many of us have done that, where we've talked to somebody about joining the team, and the 1 minute they give us a buying signal, we instantly like go off like an alarm clock in our head, and we're now spilling all the information like a busted water vessel. And we're just throwing it out there saying, oh my gosh, you get a free website, you get this, you get that, 45% commission, you can sell it here, you can sell it there, you can do events. I know I have, and I'm sure most of us have. That the minute we get that first buying signal, it's pushing the gas pedal and go. And I don't know why that is for a lot of us, that we immediately have that a burst of energy talking about our business once we get that first spark of interest. But what we need to do is we need to focus on that person for a moment and listen to what they're telling you. Okay, they've given you a buying signal, which is a good thing, but you want a couple of buying signals. You want a few. That's what you're kind of, I think, wanting to set your goal as. Is you want to see how many buying signals you can get. Does anybody know what I mean by a buying signal?
Like an okay, without them saying that they're ready, kind of a deal. Like, I'm trying to think in my head what I look for.
Well, I think that a buying signal should be something that they're asking. They're either asking how much it costs to join, and they're asking how often you have to sell. They're asking, do I have to go live? They're asking, how long have you been with the business? They're asking, how much did you pay to get started? When they're asking you questions about the business, those are buying signals. And every single one of those are important, right? And you want to answer those questions, and you want to feed off of those buying signals to be able to give them the information that they're needing. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're listening. Because if you're not listening, you can easily pass up those buying signals as well. Oh, thank you, son. Oh, wow, what is this? Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, so you often miss those signals, and a future customer or recruit gives them to you to close the deal, and you just simply just miss them. And that makes it harder on you and that person, right? I mean, if they have faith that you know what you're talking about in this business, and they're giving you those signals and you're not taking them, they may kind of be concerned with, getting involved with somebody like yourself. The signals are what they like, what they don't like, and what fears they have of moving forward. Most importantly, they'll tell you the value they are looking for, whether it is money, health, or time. Knowing this will help you close the deal. Okay, so those are the key reasons why people won't join, is because of money, their health, or their time. And all three of those things need to be important to you. And you need to make sure that when you're talking to them, you're listening to about those needs and you're listening for those needs. Okay, I understand you need money and you need time, right? And you use those feel founds and feel found and oh my gosh, feel found. I know Dre's one that brought that up.
What do you say? I know he just said it. Feel. Oh God, he just walked out.
Feel found and
hang on.
And felt.
You feel found felt.
What's it called? Feel
Yeah.
found what? Huh?
Nobody's talking about it.
For me, the truth speaks.
Feel found out. Stop talking, Zoe.
Sometimes we don't know what we need.
So what we were saying there is feel, found, and felt, right? So like I felt
Felt found. Feel felt found.
Okay, thank you so much. So that's what we were talking about, and we've talked about it before. Andre's the one that brought it up, so that's why I wanted to confirm it with him. But you would basically be understanding what they're talking about by letting them know, like, you know what, I completely understand how you feel. Like, I seriously felt that way too. But then I found out that with paparazzi, not only can I make money, but I can save time, you know, or that I was able to find out that my health wasn't holding me back from being able to sell jewelry. And I know other teammates that their health doesn't hold them back from selling jewelry, because this is something that can easily be done, you know, and you're able to overcome their fears by being able to listen to what those fears are and then, you know, giving them a route around them. So number one, if you're writing notes, you want to write down, I'm confused. Okay. You have an engaged prospect. They've sent a few buying signals and seem genuinely interested. You've covered every feature and benefit which applies to them, but they're still hesitating. And frankly, you're confused. And there's no good reason to keep that to yourself. The best way to find out what's keeping them on the fence is straight up ask them. So, you know, I'm confused. This seems to be a great fit for you. And you said that this is what you want. So what's keeping you from moving ahead? And I guarantee you, surprise, they'll tell you. You've asked an honest question and they'll give you an honest answer. Then you know what you are dealing with and how you can address it, right? Have any of us ever had that happen though, to where you've answered everything and they're just still on the fence and they're just not saying anything, but you don't really know where to go from there because you've already said so much that you could possibly say about the business, and that they've taken it all in well response. They understand it all. Well, I think that close right there will help you out majorly by just telling them flat out, I'm a little confused right now. Like, everything that I've told you, I'm seriously shocked that you haven't went off like a firecracker asking for my join link, because this is so perfect for you. What's got you in this state of, you know, like not wanting to do it right now? Like, give me a little bit of information. And they usually will. Anybody got any questions about that? Or so far we're looking good. 2, tell me more about what you like. In an attempt to close the deal, the conversation you have should be all about questions, no statements. The more information your prospect gives you, the more you'll know what they need. Once they have listed some concerns for you, address them. Then get them talking about what they like about the product or the business, right? Just because they have some concerns doesn't mean you won't close the deal. With enough practice, you'll learn the concerns are typically normal ones that we all have when considering a purchase. Now look, guys, we're selling a business package and a business plan, and it's amazingly affordable for what you're getting. When you're buying into a business that's going to turn around and almost double your money immediately, and then be able to provide you a way to continuously grow your money without coming out of pocket, that is a plus that we have in this business that not many can say they have, right? And look, we're talking about building and starting a business from as little as $100. Most of us have spent $100 on a pair of shoes that we liked. Those shoes won't last as long as this business can last. Yeah, those shoes may take you to work, but those shoes ain't making you no money. $100 for this business can get you started, and then you grow off of that. And that's a key element that we have that a lot of people just don't even realize. You know, and the fact that, like we were talking about this before we started today, you know, if you approach some of those people that are working their jobs already, they've already working whatever they're working, you know, they don't need paparazzi, you know, they don't need to look for another way to make work. They don't need for another way to spend their time. But what you could do is, like, just by joining in this company for as little as $100, now you have a backup plan. And when you invest as little as $75 a month in it every month, now you're active and that backup plan is going to stay intact. And you don't want to pay the $75 a month, we give you an out, because it only takes selling 15 pieces of jewelry and you have your backup plan paid for by somebody else. Right? And so now you have this as a back burner, something you can do that you can make a little bit of extra money whenever you want to. If you want to take kids to, you know, Disneyland, you can save up some extra money by selling some extra jewelry, you know, and you get to change your wardrobe every month by buying a few pieces. How cool is that? And it's only taking you $100 to invest in this. Now those are the people that I think the $100 kit is perfect for. If they're looking to make money in this business, those people should be buying bigger kits, flat out. Yes, we could start with a $100 kit, but look, if you're buying a business because you want to make it an investment, you want to make it into something that's going to give you residual money and make money off of, then you don't want the hoopty bargain package, right? You want to be able to make sure that you're able to get as far as you can in this business. And then when we're talking $100, $299 to $499, look, that's literally the difference of buying a moped or buying a car, basically. You feel me? Like that, the money that's involved, you can't buy any other business for $500 that's going to immediately turn into $1,000 investment. I don't care where you are. I don't care what you're trying to do. You can't open a hot dog cart for $500. Go ahead, Jay.
You sure can't. I'll tell you that for a fact. I went to try to start up a hot dog cart before, and it ended up being as expensive or more than starting up an actual food truck because of all the permits that you need. I'm telling you right now, this is an opportunity. It's like needle in a haystack type of thing. People don't know. They just don't know it exists. And the more people you tell that it exists, the more people will know. And of those people, some of those will sign up because they'll see the benefit. And of those that don't, they'll come back later. I promise you.
They would earlier.
Or wish they would have sooner.
Mm-hmm.
And how many of us that are in here that have signed up wish that we would have signed up at the first opportunity? Because most of us, like what we're talking about, hesitated. Most all of us thought about it for a week, had to talk to their spouse, had to work out a plan, had to really, really think about it before they started because they were afraid to spend it. And most all of us have probably bought that $100 kit. We didn't even go all in when we started. right?
Okay, Andre
But
didn't
look at
even
us
want
now.
me to join. Did you guys know that? When I first asked him about this opportunity, he told me no. Imagine if I would have listened. in this point, it was good that I didn't. You should listen to your husband though. But in this instance, do you know how many other women that maybe have brought the opportunity to their husband and they completely said no? Well, how about you follow up with them? Your no people. Oh, my husband said I can't right now. How about you follow up with them and say, hey, you know what? I was on a Zoom with one of my uplines, and she was talking about her husband told her no, and she's on track to make 6 figures this year. How about that? I think that would like shut some people up, right?
Right.
Sometimes you just have to do the things even though people tell you not to, because what if I wouldn't have?
Well, and the funny thing is that Sarah and I, we were to Marissa's like we were like your 14th or 15th sign up. So when we signed up with Marissa, I'm going to tell you straight up, I was exactly like Dre. I said, nope, we're not doing it. We're not having it. But I found out that Sarah was still buying stuff from Marissa on the side anyway, and decided that we're just going to go ahead and get in on it. But that just goes to show you that like me and Sarah, like we have our first videos of us going live. Like I have clips of Marissa and Sarah doing a video together. No pegboards, no offices, no special lighting, nothing at all. Just 2 girls sitting in front of a camera selling jewelry. Right? The exact same place that all of us have started from and all of us have been. So it's so easy to see that like her $100 kit, my $100 kit, like look where it's taking our businesses now. You know, Marissa's now just recently got a house that she's leasing in Utah, brand new out the gate, buying brand new appliances to fill it, you know, and being able to support all of her kids now without worry, you know, and me and Sarah being able to, you know, we've been repainting our house and remodeling our bling rooms and adding more and more to our lives through this business. That you guys can all do that too. But I kind of got off track here. The important thing is that your friends and your families, you know, when they say that we're hope dealers, they say that for a reason, because we don't just change our lives, we change other people's lives too. So with enough of that practice, you're going to learn the concerns are typically normal ones that we all have. We've all considered making this purchase. We've all taken that time. Put yourself in their shoes for a minute and make sure you're listening to what they're saying. Number 3, what did you expect? This is another question to keep in your close the deal toolbox. It's a great question to ask when a prospect has some defenses up and wants to list all the reasons they're saying they're not interested. It's a normal defense from those who are afraid to say sold. And they will throw you off your game. Listen to every objection they have. They just ask, what did you expect? As long as you're genuinely asking what their expectations were, you'll probably see their defenses diminishing, right? They'll get down to some honest conversation. And the key to this question is to shut up. Don't say anything to them after you ask the question. Let them tell you, right? So if you're asking them just flat out, hey, what is it you would expect from this business? What would you want this business to be for you? Let them tell you. If this business is to mean they need more money, they need to support their kids more or have more money for their kids. If this meant that they were able to be at home so they could take care of a sick family member or a child, if this meant that it would be something for them if they were able to retire their husband. There's all kinds of scenarios out there that could lead to why anybody would want to do something like this and at the same time still have fear, right? Because we know that there's no guarantees in life. And we also know that you're more often let down more than you're brought up, right? So a lot of people that when you're talking about joining our team or joining our family or getting involved in this business, a lot of people are already predetermined to be afraid of joining in something that they have no knowledge of, right? And that's why we got to listen to what they're talking about, what their fears are, so we can then know how to overcome them. And we all know how to rebut those different objections. And if you don't, Andre had mentioned earlier in the week in one of the Zooms that there's a great book called The Rebuttal book on Amazon. And I'm not exactly sure who the author was. We can, maybe find that out later. But
I didn't find it. I looked and I didn't see it on there, but I have seen it before. So I forgot about it. I'm glad you brought it up to me, and now I'm reminded. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna post it.
Awesome. And I do know though that I did look at Amazon too for the rebuttal book. And I didn't find it either, but I did find a lot of rebuttal books. So, there is information out there, and I'm going to tell you this right now. As a matter of fact, that's what I'll do tonight. Tonight, I will, tonight and tomorrow, I will pull up all the information that I can, and we'll have on Monday how to do a rebuttal. And I'll get some information from internet searches, and I'll put the time in it to give you guys some information on that. But I do recommend you guys checking out books and even YouTube videos on how to have a rebuttal in network sales. Always make sure you put network sales. Otherwise, you're going to get people rebuttaling how to tell the car salesman no, So make sure that when you ask them, what do you expect? What do you want from this? That, like I said, you listen to it. Anybody have any questions so far? Are we good to go? If anybody has anything they want to ask, feel free to unmute for a second. Go ahead, Liz.
What was number 2? I'm sorry, I was listening, but I didn't write it down quick enough.
Number 2 was tell me more about what you like.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. Hello, Teresa. Welcome. Hello, Libby. And Melissa. Anybody else that I didn't get to say hello to? Hi. So we're on number 4 now, the business of people. No matter what your product is, you are in the business of people, right? Aren't we all? I mean, that's what paparazzi preaches all the time. We are about people. We're not about just the product. The product is our vessel to help people. And to close the deal, you'll want to remember that features are never going to outweigh how your prospect feels. I'm sorry. You want to remember that features are never going to outweigh how your prospect feels. About you, about their family, about where they are in life, and about feeling good about themselves. Your product or service may benefit any one of these things, but the person in front of you or on the phone is going to benefit you. Appealing to them as a person should take center stage when you close the deal. And now buying is going to make them feel, in the end, what? Did I miss a word there? Appealing to them as a person should take center stage when you close the deal. And now, and how buying is going to make them feel in the end. Duh, that makes a big difference. My screen was bent over, so it instead of an H, it looked like an N. So closing the deal should always be what's in it for them, right? I'm sorry, I'm answering somebody here at the same time. Okay, so the business of people, families, friends, their life, right? The circle of people that they're in. This business as well as any other business can change a lot for a person. It could change how they feel about themselves. It could change the way they feel and treat other people, right? If somebody's not doing well, a lot of times they could easily take it out on other people. right? And I think that that's part of the reason why I like the fact that paparazzi says that they're hope dealers, is because of the fact that we have that ability to change people's lives, not only in their own, like, gosh, how do I put this? Kind of like within their circle of friends, right? As you grow and you mature, so do your circle of friends. You know, if when you're young and you're just hanging out and you're having fun, right? Your circle of friends is fun and entertaining and so forth, but it may not be giving you that sustenance that you need to sustain like an actual life, you know, make your money. Go ahead, Dre.
And if they don't, and if your circle hasn't changed, you may need to reevaluate. I'm not saying your people that are around you are not good. I'm just telling you that if you've got the same crew around you or the same circle around you in your 20s that you do in your 40s, you may need to reevaluate who's around you and why, because you should be growing and they should be growing too.
And you know, if you follow anybody like Kevin Hart or Will Smith or Steve Harvey or anybody that's in the limelight as celebrities of success, they're all going to tell you flat out that, like, if you're the person that all your friends are looking up to, then you need more friends.
I'll say one more thing to add to that, because that was a very good line, which you just used right there. A line similar to that I've heard before was, if you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Right. Yep, exactly. And so if you're not leading by example and you're not showing other people how to do life, you know, and live life, and you're basically like, if you're the one that's at the top, you need to have somebody that you're following, right? Like right now, you guys are all following like Marissa. You want to be more like Marissa. You want to have what Marissa has. Marissa's wanting what Michelle Egan has, right? If we're following those people that want to make those changes, and you get into those circles of people, you're going to act like those people, right? Y'all hear about how like husbands and wives look like each other after being together for so long. You know, it's literally like, it's a natural thing for you to adapt to your surroundings, right? And so if you're adapting to your surroundings and your surroundings aren't changing, then maybe you need to change. You know, like you ever heard the phrase, like, if there's 10 dummies in the room, if you don't see the dummy, it's you. Right? If you don't see the dummy, it's you. Because you know, it's just common occurrence like that. So make sure you bring yourself up to the people that you know in your business. Anybody got any questions on that?
That's game, boy. That's game.
Right? So number 5, you're so emotional. Those who sell for a living or own their own business have a lot wrapped up in every single sale or recruitment. It can be both exhilarating and stressful, right? We all know about that. Trying to get director, trying to get your first sign up, trying to hit that next rank. It's never going to change that, you know, we're wrapped up in every single sale. You know, we don't want to be told no when it comes to sales or recruiting. We're wrapped up in every one of them, and we want that positive response of yes. So when we sit down and we get on the phone with a prospect, we can feel the stress of everything on the line. This is not going to help you close the deal. In fact, this can cause you to feel frustrated or even a bit angry if the close isn't going well. And if this happens, which it usually does, it's normal, but it will work against you. Concentrating completely on the prospect will help you leave your emotions at the door before you walk in. Okay, so what we're saying in that again is, listen, right? We don't always have to be the ones talking when we're trying to close the deal. And it may often sound pushy if you're continuing to talk over somebody that's trying to let you know how they feel about your business. Find out how they feel about your business so that way you can counter that feeling with something that's going to positively make them emotional about this business. right? That's what we're looking for here is emotion. You're trying to get their emotional conflict in themselves to be like, oh my gosh, I want to do it, but I want to do it. I want to do it, right? And when you finally get that person to the point where they're giving you all those buying signals and that they want to do it and they're seeing the emotion in it, right? And then they give you the, well, I'm going to talk to my husband or wife. I really like this. I think that is something that I want to do. That's when you need to maybe step further into the box and say, hey, you know, I totally support you talking to your husband or wife. I would like to talk to them with you so that if they have questions, I know how to help you answer them, because you're probably going to forget a lot of the things that we talked about. So if you feel you really need to talk to your spouse about this, maybe you can open them up into a conversation with me so that we can talk together and I can help you if you're really excited about doing this. Trust me, a spouse is the first thing that can put out that flame, right? Ask Sarah when she came home and she was excited because she wanted to sell this jewelry, and I said no. It was kind of a bummer to her, but she understood where I came from and she didn't argue it. Those spouses are out there everywhere. You know, if you think it is difficult to close on somebody that you're talking to face to face, how do you think it is for that person to go home and close to their husband that doesn't know anything about the business, didn't hear the conversation that you had, and they don't know how to answer those questions correctly, right? Another thing I hit Dre with the other day when he said something like that, as I told him flat out, like, look, this is $100 jewelry. This is, you know, what would your husband make or break you for you making a decision about, you know, something that you really want to do? This is $100. This isn't, we're not asking you to, you know, go do mortgage or, you know, like pick your favorite kid. This is something that can easily be done if it's something that you really want. And I want you to have this for you. And I'm totally here to help you make it happen. You know, encourage them that, you know, you're going to be there every step of the way, and then be there every step of the way and make sure that you're plugging that person in to all of the trainings, even if you're not a person that's ready to train yourself, right? Don't get them to sign up and then just drop the ball on them, or those are the people that are going to drop the ball on you, and they're not going to be active next month, and they're not going to be active the next month, and then pretty soon they're going to eventually fade away. Make sure that you invest in them like they're investing into you. Number 6, never, never, never. There are just a few things to remember when it's time to close the deal. It can be tempting to overstate results if you think it will help. Don't. Over-promising is a deal killer and can circumvent all your hard work in network marketing. Pressuring someone into signing or buying will have equal results. Sure, you want them to make the decision, but not because they were under duress. And I don't know if you know this or not, but if you feel like you're being signed up into paparazzi under duress, they can call corporate and just cancel. They can just flat out cancel. They can cancel their membership altogether, and paparazzi will do that if they feel that, you know, if that person reaches out to them in a way that they feel like they were kind of forced to sign into it. This will sink the deal first time. Oh, this will sink the deal fast too, and word will quickly spread, right? That you're a pushy person, and that, yeah, I thought about signing up with them, but man, once I started talking to them about it, I couldn't say a word in edgewise. I couldn't let them know how I felt. Yeah, it was a bad thing, and I just had to quit on them from the get-go. You don't want that kind of negativity, right? Another important no-no is trying to close the deal with someone who is not part of the buying decision, right? So if you're talking to Susie about joining your team, and Susie hasn't given you any signals that she has any kind of control on what happens, then you want to make sure that you're talking to Susie and Susie's spouse or Susie's controller, you know, money controller or whatever you want to call it. But you want to talk to the people that are involved in that decision making. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions about that? Because I think that's the important thing, is making sure that, you know, you're not necessarily wasting time with somebody that at the end can't say yes or no. I think it's important to be able to make sure that at the very beginning that if they need another person like a spouse, bring them into the game. I do that with everybody that I talk to. As a matter of fact, I have a friend that I have video gamed with, and him and his wife, he just got this new job at a race car track, and he's excited about it, and his wife's looking for work. So I mentioned to him the other day, I said, well, you know what? Now that you have, a little bit of money coming in, why don't you invest $100 in my business and let me get you and your wife started into it, and she could easily sell this jewelry even at the racetrack walking around, And I gave them some scenarios about it. But when he told me that sounded good and he wanted to talk about it, first thing I did is, okay, well, when will be a good time for me and you to talk to your wife at the same time? Like, when can we set up a conference call? And so we did that last night, and they're signing up on Thursday. So making sure that you get with both of them, the people that can make the decision, is going to be a big, big plus for you.
And also, just to keep in mind, like if you never heard of this before, what Chris just said, that's awesome for you to know that we're available for that too. Like, if you need someone to help you close someone, that's what your teammates should be for. That's what your teammates, you should be willing to help out. If you're an awesome recruiter, you should be willing to help out a teammate if they need help with recruiting. Like, that'd be awesome, like, to help them out like that. And, anybody on our team, like, we're ready. Me, Chris, Marissa, we're all ready to help you out if you need help or assistance closing someone, because we're a team. That's what we do.
Right. And many of you may not know this, but Liz, who is in here right now, she actually signed up with me and Sarah by being a guest in one of these Zooms. Helen and Faith, was it the day before yesterday, had a sign up because they brought a person in as a guest to one of these Zooms. And we spoke to them, and, we were able to answer their questions, and we were all able to show the positivity of the business. We were all on the same page when we were answering questions, so they felt like not one person had the answer, but everybody had the same answer.
That just happened the other day. I was on a Zoom when that happened, and she signed up right after that.
Yep. Powerful stuff, guys. But that's a great point, Andre, is make sure that if you don't feel like you're a closer, you know what I mean? Tag your teammate and say, hey man, I got this person on the fence. And they're telling me this. What should I say? Can you help me out with it? Tag them. Bring them into the conversation if you need to. So number 7 is let me think about it. We've all heard that, right? Let me think about it. Those 5 words right there are like cringeworthy words. Deciding to buy or join a team can be a difficult one for many. And it is important to listen as their prospect explains their fears. However, once addressed, the decision should be made. Let me think about it is a common statement. Then days and weeks go by without a word. You retrace the conversation in your mind and wonder why you didn't close the deal. And there's really just one reason why. You probably didn't ask if let me think about it was what's keeping you from asking. Wait, you probably didn't ask. If let me think about it is what kept you from asking, then chances are good you'll miss other sales too. Oh, okay, yeah. You probably just didn't ask them, like, are you ready to join? You left it in the lurch for them to say, let me think about it. And then I personally think that what's great about that is that then you do another approach where you tell them, okay, that's not a problem. I'm just curious, what is there still to think about? Like, what do you have to weigh the odds on? Like, let me help you out with that because I've been through it before. If If you are questioning it for these reasons, let me know and I can help guide you through it. Here's the thing. When you're talking to somebody that's a prospect directly about their business and they get that excitement in it, or as we just spoke about, getting them to be emotional about the business, making them want to sign up for the business through their emotions alone, not just the key facts, but just their emotion. That emotion is like excitement. It's like adrenaline, right? And they're excited about that for only so long. If you let that excitement die away, then you have to rebuild that excitement to get them to join again. And 9 times out of 10, when that excitement fizzles, it doesn't come back. So you got to make sure that once you bring that excitement level up, that's when you're pushing to close the deal. Don't leave it loose-ended and say, okay, well, take your time and think about it and then get back to me. No, because then you're letting that person cool, right? And you're letting that emotion that you've built up, you're letting it die out.
You ever heard of the phrase strike while the iron's hot?
Oh, yeah.
That's real deal right there. You got to get it while the getting's good. You wait, and you're going to be too late.
Exactly. So I think that's good stuff there. And, you want to get them when they're emotional about it, and you don't want to let them think about it. You of course, sometimes you may have to, and that's just the way it's going to end. But that means that there's still something there that could cause the close. Even if, unfortunately, it's a no, right? No's aren't always bad. No's could always lead to a not right now or not today. But the no is going to help you more than just saying, let me think about it.
And most of the time when you hear a no, truly it's not a no. It's truly that they just need more information. You know what I mean? And like, they really just want to, they don't know enough to say yes.
Sorry about that. Exactly. Number 8. Okay, maybe you're not ready. Let me think about it. Folks are, excuse me, man, I'm sorry. My throat is just, but let me think about it. Folks are fairly easy to read. We all stare in fear at change and can let the fear take us down a road of non-decisive oblivion. The house we didn't buy, the great deal on a car we missed, or a scholarship we didn't take. And we're all afraid of making a wrong decision, right? How many of you guys have heard of FOMO, fear of missing out? Fear of missing out, right? You want to make sure that, hey, look, I just want you to know I'm coming to you right now, and I'd really like you to join my team because I see potential in what you are as a person. I think that you're a perfect fit for this business. I think you're a wonderful person that could be a hope dealer just like I am. And I think that besides this being just an excellent product, this is a fit for you. Like, I think that this is something that you should do. But if you don't sign up with me now, I mean, you're potentially missing out because I'm on an elite team. I'm with a group of training people that we're all successful in what we're doing because we're working our businesses. And man, I would just hate to see you not come up because you're afraid to risk that $100. Look, the $100 will make itself back. Why don't you at least give it a chance, try it for 3 months, and see if you like it? If you don't like it, the worst you did is you invested $100 in a bunch of gifts that you can give out for Christmas, right? You got to kind of put that fear in their mind that, like, this could be a missed opportunity if you don't take this. It happens throughout the sale, not just at the end, but if your prospect just signaled that they are ready, and then waffles, a quick question can work. Wait, yeah, that was right. So that's when you tell them, okay, well, maybe you're not ready to change your finances. Maybe you're not ready to stay home with your kids. Maybe you're just not ready to retire your husband yet. It's okay. That's not a problem. It happens. I'm not asking you to do anything that you don't want to do. Like, I want you to join into my business because I see that this is a perfect fit for you. But maybe you're just not ready to stay at home with the kids. Kind of put that back on them for a minute so that way that maybe makes them understand that, like, well, yeah, no, I am ready. I do want this. That is what I want.
And that's not being rude. That's being tactical. That's just controlling the conversation, which is what you should be doing.
Exactly. It may sound confrontational, but it's not. You're asking them if they're ready to put their fear aside and take advantage and, like, take the leap of faith.
It's just for when they put an excuse at you, which is what their job is. Your job is to overcome it, and that's your job. And so it's like, when somebody hits tennis ball into your side of the court, well, what are you going to do? Just leave it there? Okay. Nah. Hit that thing back in their court. Let them hold themselves accountable for, hey, maybe this is not, maybe you're not ready to be successful right now. Man, when you're ready, you come back and I'll be here for you.
Yeah, and this is common in every type of business and every type of sales. So if I was going to buy a brand new computer because I wanted a better computer for, gaming, or maybe my studio, or I wanted to make music or something, and I'm talking to that salesperson says, hey, and I understand it's a $2,000 computer and it's quite spendy. You know what? Maybe you should start with something smaller and just not have a good quality of work. Maybe you should get something that's just a little bit cheaper until you're ready to be serious about your business. Those are like, okay, you know what, sir, I understand. You know what? This is a lot of money to put down on a Corvette. I get it. I totally do. But maybe you're just not ready to drop the top and go driving down the highway at 90 miles an hour, feeling the power of all you've achieved through your life and driving that sports car down the road that you own, that you just purchased at my lot from me today. Maybe you're just not ready for that, sir. But I'll tell you what, here's my card. Call me when you are. I got other people that want to vet. You feel me? So it's all about the value. Number 9. It's all about the value. Sales guru Zig Ziglar. You guys know who Zig Ziglar is? If you don't, follow him.
Zig is the man.
Zig is the man when it comes to sales. Anything that has to do with sales, he is the guru in it. He explains closing as part of the process, not a separate event. Closing is part of the process, not a separate event, right? We're not talking to them today and then closing them on another day. We're talking to them today and we're closing today. It's the same event. It can happen anytime during a conversation with a prospect. Once they see the value and how it will improve something in their life, it's time to close the deal. Once they're giving you all of the yeses in return, it's time to close the deal. And this makes the conversation itself much more important than listing features or benefits, handing them a brochure or samples. If you are working with a possible recruit, for example, have them picture how a network marketing venture will improve their financial lot. Ask them flat out, what would this do for you? If you were to make $500 a month, what would it do for you? Would you put that $500 away and then have, $5,000 at the end of the year to do something special for you and your family? Or would that $500 help you to make sure that you can get that extra car so that your husband's not, having to take you back and forth to work? Where would that $500 get you when you join into a business like this? And of course, we all know you can make less than 500 or more than 500, but let's just give you a baseline that's reachable. Let's give you a reachable baseline of $500 a month because that's practical. Not everybody's making $5,000 a month doing direct sales. A lot of us are, but not everybody is. So tune into what they're looking for and where they want it to take them. Let's see. Ask them to tell you what they see when you ask them, what will this do for you? What do they see in that picture? $500 going to take them on a vacation? Is it going to give them a once a month trip somewhere with just her and her husband? You know, what's that $500 going to do for you? Now you don't have to ask your husband necessarily for money because you got a little extra money on your side that you've been working and hustling on your own.
Another good point on that is just to add to what you just laid down, is when you do that, you're essentially allowing their mind to paint the picture. Okay, painting the picture is the key element of any kind of sales transaction, including signups. This is the same. This is still a sales transaction. Okay, either they sell you either you sell them why they're going to sign up, or they sell you why they won't. Okay, so at the end of the day, when you allow their mind to paint the picture, by saying, what would that extra $500, you know, if you had an extra $500, what would you do with it? You know, and then they say, you know what, if I had an extra $500, I would go to the steakhouse and buy my husband a steak and dinner, you know, something like that. Whatever. It doesn't matter what they say, because it's their mind that created what they would do with it. Now they're visualizing that.
Exactly. And we've all talked about like storyboards or vision boards, right? How many of us have all talked about making a vision board, and as an entrepreneur, knowing what you want in the future and making you a vision board so that you can idealize it, see it in your head and paint that picture, just like Andre's talking about. You're making them put in front of you their own storyboard or vision board for what their network marketing can do. Body and mind. That's number 10. Body and mind. And we have 14, so we're getting to the end here. Bear with me just a little bit longer. Natural communication with others is 90% nonverbal. For those of us who do not study this, we learn the expert communicators often mirror the verbal and nonverbal cues with whomever they speak. For some of us, it may come naturally. If you are speaking with someone who is high energy and enthusiastic, try to match it. Match their level. For example, if you are more the measured and professional type, chances are you'll be more comfortable with those who have the same tone. Attention to the details of your prospect's demeanor and making them feel comfortable throughout the process will give great rewards. And what I mean by this is that you want to match their tone and their feelings, right? If they're kind of somber or quiet about things and they're not really necessarily wanting to talk about them, slowly pitch them, questions that are going to make them open up a little bit more, and as they get excited, you get a little more excited. As they start to have those fears, then slow yourself down a little bit and put yourself in that mode that will relate with them so that they can, if they're not sure about doing this and you're just like pumping excitement, that's kind of like a turnoff to somebody that's not sure, right? If they're seriously trying to make a decision that's going to weigh what they do with their family and their money and their finances and their spare time, and they're already concerned and nervous about that, and then you go and you're bouncing off the walls, giddy excited, that doesn't just drop into their lap. That doesn't change them necessarily. But if you can sense the fact that they're having some fears in that, and you can work with those fears by asking those questions that will build that excitement, then eventually you can bring them up to your level, just as much as you've had to take yourself down to their level. Does that make sense? But you want to be on that same playing field as far as emotion. You want to be excitable, but you also want them to be excitable too. Number 11, dealing with the skeptics. I was one of them, so I know how this one works. Oh, got somebody coming in. Network marketing has more skeptics than it should. This is number 11. Did I say that? Number 11, dealing with skeptics. Network marketing has more skeptics than it should. And this is something that you'll deal with often. So in some ways, it will be more important to get used to this. Unfounded fears aside, there are a few basics to do to keep yourself above the crowd.
I'll let you finish.
No, did you have something to say?
No, I agree with that so much, because it's so important for you to get used to this. You have to build that thick layer of skin around this idea, because this is what's going to happen regardless. If you've been in network marketing for, I don't know how long, I can't give them enough, but if you're in there long enough, you're going to hear it regardless. And it's not always going to be just from your customers. It's not always just going to be from your signups. It's going to be from your family and friends too. They're the ones that are going to hit you the worst. And that's what the hardest one. That's the one that you got to get over the most, because if you do allow their negative thoughts or their skeptic thinking to penetrate your mind, you will not have a business anymore. And your success that you could have had will diminish.
Right. And just like you're saying there, the skepticism that we all face, like it's something like we were skeptic when we started, right? And so it's only natural for them to feel skeptical about it too. And you got to make sure that you're being transparent to them and you're being transparent to that. So it's important to get used to that. Those let me see, that kind of there was something I was going to say on that you had just brought up, Dre, and I'm trying to think of what that was.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Chris? What'd you say? I'm sorry.
There was something that you had just touched base on that I was going to say something on it, and then I lost it.
About having the thick skin because your family and friends.
I think that is that like, seriously, once you can get past that skepticism in their mind, and you find the ways to approach skepticism, then I think that's going to make it so much easier for you in the long run. Because I guarantee you, any time that you're in this conversation with anybody, there is skepticism in there, period. And one of the best ways to find it is, they're being skeptical right there because they're not believing you.
Right, absolutely. And also, if you okay, let's just say you listen to the skepticism and you think, oh, I'm not listening to it, but if it's affecting you in this almost in the slightest way, it will affect how you recruit. So if someone's talking to you about the business and they're giving you an excuse of why they can't, or if you have a teammate and you give a challenge and they're giving you an excuse on why they can't do it, you may listen to their excuse and think to yourself, or say to them even worse, yeah, I understand where they're coming from. And that's not good.
Get back to me when you get back to me if you just change your mind.
Right. And that's not. It's giving them the open door out.
Yep.
Okay? That's all.
I love it. Does anybody have any questions so far? Hello, Marie. Welcome.
Hey, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great. Glad you were able to come in and join us. So we're talking about ways to close the deal in marketing, network marketing. So we're getting close towards the end of them, but I appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us. And remember that these are always recorded on YouTube too. So if you like what we're talking about now and you want to know what you missed, you can always go back and watch the replay.
Okay, good, because I'm still working.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Miss Hustler.
I got to break it. Yeah, I got a break at the flower shop, so I turned it on. So.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you for giving us your time.
Way to go get it.
Hey,
right.
I do whatever I can. I promise.
There you go. So being a credible and genuine person gives you much more freedom to gain customers and referrals. Then when it's time to close the deal, your prospect above all will trust you. That's what's important right there, right? If they're not able to trust you, then you haven't relieved that skepticism one bit, right? If they're skeptical thinking that this business can or can't do something about that, and they tell you like flat out, like, and it's okay to ask. It's okay to ask. Skepticism is one of the biggest things in sales. Okay. So if I'm coming to you as a prospect, and I'm not necessarily, and I'm sensing it, Look, I'm going to straight up ask you. So are you feeling a little skeptical about this? Because trust me, I know how you feel, right? I felt it too. And you know what I found out? You know what I found out? Is that everybody feels that way. And everybody that's on my team right now, I could bring you into a conference with every one of us and we'll all tell you that we felt skeptical about it.
Chris,
Every one of them will give you reasons why they're no longer skeptical about it.
Chris, that's dang near. Remember what you said to the girl that you signed up, that you closed that night on the Zoom? You told her straight up. You said, so what's holding you back from signing up? Now that we have all this information, what's the main thing holding you back from signing up today? And that's the thing is we used to use in sales a lot is today. We used to use the word today a lot. Okay. Now you might think, okay, I swear, everybody thinks, stuff like that is aggressive or stuff like that's pushy. You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now. Look at the top person in the building. The top person in paparazzi. I promise you, they use these same things, and it's because they work. They work. You have to get over that because it is what works. Okay, is what works. I know 91 octane it's just expensive gas, but it's a good gas. That's why. It's the good gas, okay? It's the top shelf premium stuff. And if you want your car to run a long time and you want your car to run good, that's the stuff that you want. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. And it's okay to be somewhat aggressive in this business when we're talking about this because we want to show our passion, right? If you're passionate about it, you should be a little bit more aggressive and like wanting them to feel what you feel.
And even along with that is confidence. Because if you don't have confidence that this is what they should be doing, hey, I'm confident that you should be signing up for paparazzi right now. Why? Because this is a great opportunity. It's changed my family's life, and this is excellent. And you know what? You need to do it too. What? You don't have to talk to your husband. Well, talk to him, and then we can get it going. Like we can get your husband on the line. We can talk to him too. Like you know what I mean? Like. You have to show that confidence because if you don't show that confidence, if you have a lack of it because you don't want to be aggressive, then they're going to be having a lack in believing in what you're saying. Maybe this ain't the right thing. She don't seem too confident. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be signing up with her, or maybe I shouldn't be signing up at all.
Right. Your powerful energy needs to go onto that person. And if they bring up the fact that, well, I should talk to my spouse about this. I should consider, their thoughts or what they want to do about this. Hey, you know what? More power to you. I'm going to tell you that right now. More power to you. But if you want, do you want me to bring my spouse in here too and tell you how my spouse may or may not have wanted me to join this business and how happy she is that I did? Like literally, those spouses can work for you just as much as they work with you. Oh, thank you, Helen. Oh, let's see. Who said that? Teresa. Okay. Good night, hon. You have a good night. Thank you for coming in. I think I read that right. Okay. So definitely making sure that we break that skepticism is a key fundamental part of being able to close this deal because we're going to hit the skeptics no matter where you are. No matter where you are. It doesn't matter if it's your director. It doesn't matter if you're producer. It doesn't matter. I guarantee you Marissa gets her skeptics. But Marissa's obviously found ways to work with those skeptics. You know what I'm saying? Marissa's, she's molded into this business so long that she knows the ins and outs of it and the ways to sell. That's why I tell you guys that these Zoom conferences are so important for you, as well as the trainings, because the more you know about your business, the more you're able to be confident about it. The more you're able to sell it, the more you're able to approach people with the confidence and the vigor for them to break those walls of skepticism. Can I get an amen?
Hallelujah.
Amen.
I'm telling you, everything that we talk about in these Zoom conferences, they all mesh together. Every single one of them. There's not one of these conferences where it's been completely separate from anything that we've talked about. They all mold into each other.
That's absolutely true. And it's like, hey, it's good for you. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? It's good for you. It's good for your team underneath you. It's good for your teammates alongside of you, because sometimes in our conversations, our Zoom conferences, we bring Chris brings up a topic, or someone else it'll bring up something else. Someone else brings up a topic. The next thing you know, we're talking about something totally different, just because it's sparking other ideas in other people's heads. So, you say you got a best friend in the business, which I suggest everyone should have one. You know what I mean? And you got your best friend in the business. You try to push them, they try to push you, and then next thing you know, you guys coming in a Zoom conference. You're hopping on the morning meeting with Marissa Clark, and you're getting more information, and then you're talking about that information and trying to expand on that information and just make it better for you. That's all it is.
Yep, and the next thing you know, you're becoming a director, and then you're becoming a premier director, an executive director, and next thing you know, you have 100 people on your team, and eventually you become an elite. I mean, literally, this is your business for you to do that. Nobody's going to do it for you but you. If you're not going to take the time and grow and learn your business in the best way possible for you to grow your business, then I wouldn't expect to get all the fruit of the labor. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you plant this tree, you got to do the work. You got to water it. You got to take care of it. And if you don't, you're only going to produce partial fruit.
And don't look at other people that are successful or and say, oh, they're lucky or must be nice. No, they're not lucky. They're intentional. And you can be too. It's up to you. And we're all here to help you get there.
You know what? And I'll tell you this much. I don't care how long I've had to water my plant and my tree, right? And how deep I've had to get my roots down in there, and how full my branches are, and how full of leaves they are, and how big and juicy those oranges are that's hanging off of it. I tell you what, you can come pluck an orange off my tree anytime you want to.
Anytime, any day. Send me a message, wherever, IG, Facebook.
Yep.
If you can't get a hold of me, say, hey, Chris, I'm trying to get a hold of Dre.
Right.
Hey, Marissa, trying to get a hold of Dre. Whatever.
Right.
We're here to help you out.
Watch out. I'll know where you live after this next weekend.
Well, that's exciting. I'm excited to hear that.
So, number 12, sometimes they say no. Any experienced salesperson would tell you that not getting a sale could send motivation right down the drain. And this effect can last quite a while, right? If somebody says no, it obviously puts like a damper on the situation. What's that, Dre?
No, I'm sorry. I'm squirreling. I burned my hand. So.
Oh no. Oh man, that's what a cook does, though, right? I swear. Boy, you're probably immune to it just like I am.
Grab that mustard.
Once you've done it for a while.
Mustard.
Wait, mustard?
Mustard.
Yeah, you've never heard of that, Dre?
No.
How you a chef and you don't know
The
mustard?
vinegar.
Me either.
I never heard that one. I heard butter. I heard cold. Never heard mustard.
Cold actually doesn't help because you have to get the heat out of the burn. So anything cold doesn't help.
How would that?
Crystal just hit 8 hours. Can you shout her out?
Yo, Crystal.
What?
I mean, Queen Crystal. I'm just saying though. You hit 8 hours. You hit 8 hours out here in these streets. Let's talk about it. Hello.
What are you guys laughing about?
Crystal hit her 8 hours and she is a queen this weekend.
Crystal, you already hit them?
I hit 8. I have 8 more to hit by Monday to hit queen. But yeah, working on it.
What?
Well, I thought it was 8 hours in one day. Marissa scared me, so I was trying to do 8 hours by midnight. So I was prepared to go live for like 6 consecutive hours.
Are you like so tired?
I'm exhausted and my feet hurt, but it's okay. I'm about to go live again. Look at Dre. I'm telling you, bro.
I went live at 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. and then I did. Yeah, I've got like. What do we have to have it by what time?
How much do I put?
That should be enough.
I
Not good.
Babe!
Yeah.
Andre, that's too much. Too
What
much
is that?
already.
Is that, is that poo?
It's not a hot dog.
Now you need a corn dog.
Not a hot dog.
Is that mustard?
That's all.
He burned his hand, and I told him mustard helps. Oh my gosh. Oh my, you're ridiculous. You are ridiculous.
Oh,
Dang,
Yeah,
Dre,
as long as my
dang.
skin doesn't bubble.
yeah, whatever you do, don't put Crisco on that.
All right. I might fry up this chicken. Ah.
Who said they put some
Hey, Marissa said, who said they went live at 2 a.m.?
Angie.
Angie.
Angie Galvin. Way to go. Hey, and also, Crystal, Marissa said, what did you learn?
That the more you go live.
What have you
the more
learned from
sell.
this? Huh? That what?
The more you go live, the more you sell.
Absolutely.
Because yesterday, not including the hour today, but yesterday by midnight, I had 50 pieces sold and 4 new customers. So this is not my record, but it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I'm not mad at it.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna use my profit to pay my internet bill.
Let's go.
You go, girl.
And you know what? And Crystal, I know everybody has their own, but Crystal was like the one, like the most concerned about how she was going to find 8 hours. What was I going to do? What was I going to do?
Don't come for me, Andre.
Hey, but you know what? But you overcame it. You overcame it. That makes you awesome.
Congrats, Crystal. That's exciting news.
Hey, wait.
Can I just add real quick though that like her overcoming that and doing this is exactly like she at first was skeptical. She didn't believe she could do it, right? But she's proved it to herself. Right. And now what you need to know, Crystal, is that you can do what you set yourself up to do. If you don't
I'm
start
so proud of
second
you, girl.
guessing yourself, right? In the future, when it comes to a challenge that you decide to take, step up to the plate and know that, hey, I'm going to crush this like I crush every other challenge that I come at because I am a boss.
Amen. Hey,
And you know,
what time do we have to have our 8 hours done by, Marissa?
So I edited it because the newbies weren't able to participate. So we edited it, and now for Queen, it's a cumulative of 16 hours for the whole weekend.
Oh, got you. Okay.
From Friday to Monday, because she put Saturday on me and I was scared. So
that's why you're way ahead. I love it. Well, congratulations, Crystal. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have been so blessed. I ended up getting like 1, 2, 3, like 4 new customers.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. A lot of that has to do with stepping outside that box and going in a different time zone.
I can see it.
I did have something new last night. I had somebody jump on my live and ask dollar store quality, because how could it be good jewelry if it's so cheap? Well, it's not cheap. It's affordable, but thanks.
Good for you.
Yeah, Crystal, I really like the way you handled that with Grace, because you and your husband kind of tag teamed on that and let her know, like, this is actually beautiful jewelry. Look at these pieces. And you guys handled that really well.
Yeah, it was kind of it was a first. I didn't know if it was, due to some stuff that's been going on. I didn't know if it was like a troll thing going on. But that's just, it's good. Just because it's cheap don't mean it's bad. I told her, I think I said just because you might pay for $100 steak doesn't mean it's good. You gotta cook it.
Right.
Yep.
Damn straight.
Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hopefully you guys are all taking in that challenge this weekend. So we're going to get back into the topic of today. And for those of you that are in here that have come in late, I don't know. I think we're good, right? I think everybody knows what we're doing in here. Yep. So we're going to go with number 12. Sometimes they say no. Did I say that one already?
We were working on getting going on that one.
Okay. So I'm just going to start over there with 12. Sometimes they say no. Make sure you write that down if you need to. Any experienced salesperson would tell you, oh my gosh, Any experienced salesperson would tell you that not getting a sale could send motivation right down the drain, and this, in fact, can last a while. Oh, that's right. I remember talking about that. But once you've done it for a while, the fear of rejection can go away. After all, it's not personal. Chances are they like you. There's just no value for them in what you're offering. And practicing good sales techniques also teaches us that those who say no today may be a yes tomorrow. Don't burn any bridges. Always part friends, understand and respect their decision, and keep communication open. And they'll appreciate it and respect you in return. Okay? Sometimes they do say no. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm looking for, a yes or a no. I'm not looking for, let me think about it, let me get back to you in a couple of days. I want a yes or a no, right? And that's what you should be pushing for too. If they're coming back telling you, well, give me a couple of days to think about it, okay, that's not a problem. I'll give you a couple of days to think about it, but I'm confused now why you need the extra couple of days. What's got you bugged up right now and slowed down? What's stopping you from just taking your credit card out and joining this company and you starting to be able to sell your jewelry to your family and friends? What's stopping you right now? Well, I just need to think about it a little bit more. Okay, that's fine. I understand. I'm just curious, what is it that you need to think about? I'm just confused. Help me out here, you know? And if they say it more than once, of course, you know, you may want to back off and say, okay, then tell you what, why don't I get with you on Thursday and see if you come up with any other questions? You know, take between now and Thursday and see if you could come up with any questions that you can ask me. You know, see what walls are stopping you. And on Thursday, when we get together, we can either break down those walls together, or, you know, you can join my team and we can get you started in how to make money. But I don't want to leave you without, you know, the yes or the no's. That's the key thing that we're looking for when we're trying to approach somebody about the business, right? And at first, when we're just casually talking to them about it, we may take a couple of days over an event to say, hey, you know, have you ever considered it? You haven't? I'd like you to consider it. Would you like to set up a time when we can talk about it? That's one event, right? But then at that event, when you're talking to them about it, that's when you want to make sure that you're trying to close the deal. You're not trying to leave these things open. But in the cases that you do, make sure that you end in good, friendly terms and a way that you can get their permission to come back and talk to them again. Anybody got questions about that or anything they want to add to it? Like we all talk about in the business, you know, the 35 no's. You know, the no's, you want no's or yeses, like flat out. I don't even know how to really go further into that, except for the fact that you will get the no's or the yeses if you continue to close the sale long enough to get to that point. If you let them close the sale early with a, let me think about it, or let me talk to my husband, or I'm not sure. If you let them close it at that point, their mind is still in a struggle. They don't even know where they want to be. Your job isn't done yet. Number 13, get out of the way.
Can you say that last part again, Chris?
The
last part of number 12, leave it friendly.
Oh, yeah, sure. Always part friends, understand and respect their decisions, and keep the communication open. Get their permission to seek them again at a later date. At the closer date possible is best, right? If you want to talk to them again, you know, give them over the weekend. You know, if not, give them till next Friday. If not, give them till the first of the month. If not, give them till next month. But wherever you try to lead them, the closer to where you built that power of emotion is going to be better for you. Keep the fire in the burner, right? Keep the iron in the fire and keep it hot. Keep it hot, baby. Because once that cools off, it's so much long. It's just like we talk about with consistency, just like we talk about with everything else. That once you got your foot on the gas pedal and you got it moving, once you let off and you push the brake, And then it's like taking that iron out of the fire. It's cooling off, and you got to put it back in there for much longer to get it hot again. Right? Everything's all ties into each other, guys.
Bye, you guys. I just put in the chat. We're off to have dinner and family movie night before live. So we shall see you later.
All right, and thank you so much for coming in.
Bye, guys.
Number 13, get out of the way. Very rarely we have a prospect who walks in and out of nowhere and signs up. It does happen, but not very often, right? Most likely they've talked to someone, done some research, or attended a seminar. Of course, you're not really closing the deal as much as just taking the order, but it does make us wonder what it was that worked. And this is a perfect example of how we should just get out of the way sometimes. Just let it happen. If you have wonderful marketing materials, use them. Videos, webinars, conferences, simple email marketing can do some of the work for you. Use it wherever you can, right? And that's what we're talking about here. When we're talking about like bringing in somebody as a guest into one of the Zoom conferences and letting them ask questions to all of us that are working our businesses, let them get kind of comfortable with a few of us before we ask them many questions about, why or why not they would join our business. Get them involved in a conversation with you and a teammate if that's something that you wanted to do, or involved with their spouse. But most of all, sometimes you just got to get out of the way and let them lead, right? We talk about listening, talk about hearing what they need to, listening to what their thoughts are and what their concerns are and, what their needs are. We listen to all those things. So we also need to continue to listen to those things to know that they're signing up or they're not signing up. Because I know for a fact that I've woke up in the morning and seen that somebody joined my team that I've never, ever, ever once had contact with. And it was kind of odd, really. But the reason why they did that is because I had ended up talking to one of their family or friends about joining into our team and told them all about it. And it wasn't what they needed, but it was something that they passed on to this person, and that person joined my team. Right? So you never know who's going to join your team. You never necessarily know who needs you. And, you don't even know who you need at this point. There's so many different facets to this business. You guys all know that, whether it's a hobbyist, whether it's, somebody that's trying to save for a discount or somebody that's trying to provide for their family. Number 14. This is the last one. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. There may not be any worse sinking feeling than finding out an important fact about a prospect too late. When you get ready to close the deal and a prospect tells you that they have a time commitment that prevents them from signing up. Or in your attempt to sell a product, you find the person you just spent an hour with cannot make a decision with their significant other in the room. Painful. And this could have been avoided by making sure all the important facts. Experience tells you what you'll need to know before presenting or trying to close the deal. Until then, make sure you know as much as you can before working harder instead of smarter. Wherever you are in the process of success, the best advice comes from those who have gone before you. Look upstream for help from your managers, your directors, your leaders, your elite leaders, the trainings, YouTube, even network marketers, and read everything you can about becoming an expert at your craft, right? Isn't that something that we've been talking about here a lot lately? Like, if you know the ins and outs of your business, if you've taken the time to learn the compensation plan, if you've taken the time to read over the compliance and know your compliance rules, if you've taken the time to see why there's level bonuses, unilevel bonuses, and so forth, if you've taken the time to invest in your business for knowledge, it's going to give you those fruits to be able to make your business produce so much more. As we know, motivation is everything. And staying motivated comes from staying fresh, right? So even if you feel like, yeah, I've already been in the back office, I read my compliance, I know the compensation plan, hey, look over it again. There's nothing wrong with a fresh reminder. There's nothing wrong with a fresh reminder. And how many times have we watched or seen the same TV show like several times? Like it's our favorite movie. Oh my gosh, I know it word for word. But every time you watch it, you end up seeing just one little thing that you didn't notice before. You're always going to be learning if you're investing in it. We have plenty of help here for you guys with our team, with Zooms, with team trainings, being able to post questions in the groups. There's so many ways that you guys can get information. You've just got to put it to use. You've got to implement it, pour it in your cup, and drink from it. Anybody have any questions, or does that sound pretty true to everybody?
Yes.
All right. Well, then I'd like to go ahead and open it up for discussion. If you guys want to talk about primarily the topic at hand, does anybody have anybody that they have as a prospective sign up, and what's your experience with them so far?
So I wasn't going to say something about that, but I have to say, Chris, this is the most notes I've taken on a Zoom. I've got 3 1/4 pages. So holy moly, man, good stuff.
Well, good. I'm glad that you took all those notes. Hopefully they mean something to you.
Yeah, about the only thing that I missed out on was number 5. I didn't get any notes on that because we had dinner discussions and what are we going to have and give me an order and yada yada yada. So I got your emotional, but I got no notes on your emotional. You're so emotional.
Okay, give me just a second. Okay, well, that one was mostly talking about how, like, us as a salesperson, we typically we put a lot of our focus on that one person, right? Like in our minds, we get emotional by like every person that we talked about signing up. We need them to sign up, right? It's a make it or break it kind of scenario. You know, just like in automotive sales or something that's a high ticket sale. You know, it's you put your emotions into the sale because you want to make sure that you're giving them everything that you could give them to take advantage of the information that you're giving them. So emotions are good for you to be able to relay. You just want to make sure that you can match their emotion as well. Right? So like we were talking earlier, if you're excited and they're not, don't be so excited that pushes them away. Instead, ask them questions and get them involved in things that makes them excited to match your level. And then I think that should probably help you with number 5.
I'll have to run, Chris.
Yes, thanks.
See you guys later. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. And congratulations on working so hard.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye, Eddie.
Bye.
Bye, Crystal. Bye, little buddy.
I got a question really quick too.
What's that, Dee?
I was curious if you suggest putting the join link on your live. When you mentioned those people that, you know, potentially could join without having ever really talked to you, is that something you suggest? Because I was actually one of those kind of people. I did minimal research. I knew I wanted to make money, and I tried several sales companies all at once, and I dropped all the other ones for paparazzi, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, totally. And I encourage you to drop it on there. It can't hurt. You know, and you could always put, want to join my team, ask me for more information, or check out and then leave the link.
Now, do that in the comments or in the description? What?
Well, I would probably do it in the description of your live, like at the bottom where you would put like a hashtag.
Okay.
Yeah, I would probably put it down towards the bottom of it. You know, in the description, you know, there's only so much of a window that you could see text. Whatever you could see in that window, I would make that be about your actual show or what you're, you know, doing that day. And then enter, skip down a little bit further for other details to be further down the post. So that way when they click to see more, that stuff pops up. Now, of course, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to see it, you know, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of viewers will just jump onto your live and they're going to view you, regardless of what all is in that description box. But it makes it easy for you to be able to refer that at a later time too, so that while you're live, you could easily say, hey, you know, have you considered joining my team? If you have or haven't, you know, and make sure, you know, my join link is in my description. It makes it easier for you to be able to just kind of announce that.
Okay, cool. Because I wasn't sure. I thought there was something about not putting links in the description that I remember Marissa saying, I want to say, because like I used to put the link to our VIP group in the description, and that's why I was like, and she's like, no, you want to do that like in your comments of the live.
Yeah, and you could definitely do it in the comments. Me personally, I feel like if I'm working my algorithms the way that I should be working my algorithms anyway, or even if I'm not, then I obviously don't care. But if I'm working my algorithms the way I should be anyway, that one hit on one live, you know what I mean? When I go live, lives carry so much weight that they're already going to be pushed out there, that it's not going to start to like block you because you've added links to it. Now, regular posts, I think, with links sometimes can be damaging, in certain aspect of it. But when it comes to like my own personal lives, when we go live, we have several links. I have a link for the income disclosure. I have a link for my PayPal, or I mean our Square. No, let's see. I have a link for our postables, right, where they go and they put in for their address book. I've got a link for my website. I've got a link for my join. I've got a link for my income disclosure. I've got a link for my text alerts. You know, all that is in my description, so that if a customer at any time while Sarah's live, she could say, yep, the link's in the description. Yep, the link's in the description. And pretty much no matter what they needed it for.
Okay.
So if it does hit me because I have those links in there, I'm really not concerned about it. One of these times, I think we'll have to go over the income disclosure sheet and make sure we all understand how that works and why it's so important to share that. Anybody have any other questions?
I would like to go over that income disclosure. That would be another good training.
Yeah, for sure. We can definitely do that. I mean, if you guys want to, I can go over it right now, you know, kind of post haste, but it's definitely something that's good to know.
So just for grins and giggles, you said you did your website, your join site, your postables, and what else did you put in there?
Oh gosh. My join link, the website, postables, the income disclosure. I think that's the majority of what's there. Hold on, I can go look. I have it saved.
Because I know at one point Faith was saying how she wants to kind of steal what you guys put in yours, and I was like, theirs is so long. Oh my Lord. But maybe it's actually better.
Here, as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and I'll show you what I put on mine. Share screen. Okay, and then this is what I actually post in ours.
Isn't that too much though? Don't they say not to put all that stuff on there when you're doing a live?
They do. Yeah, some people do say that.
Is that not the case? Is that not the case? So
I mean, it may or may not be, but this is information that I feel is important to every customer that comes to my business. So even if Facebook were to, I mean, they obviously don't block me for doing it, right? They obviously don't block me for doing it because I'm able to post it. But at the same time, it is a live feed, so it does have the most weight than anything else. And it does use everything that Facebook tells you to use. It has hashtags, it has emoticons, it has a whole bunch of excitement in it, you know what I mean? It has, 2 paragraphs worth of text. So yeah, even though it does have, and then it even goes further down, that's the full gist of it right there. So I think it's more important to me personally that my customers come and see all of this information. And those people that also say, don't do this, I don't know where they get that from, because to be perfectly brutally honest with you, this is almost, I took a lot of this from Taylor Kirby. I literally copy and pasted his into mine and then readjusted mine and added to it the way I wanted to do it. But this is originally from Taylor Kirby himself. So, he obviously isn't having problems with his sales either. So I'm not going to say that it's right or wrong to do this. I'm just telling you that this is what I did. And then, so while we're here, we'll go ahead and open up this income disclosure sheet. Wait, that's not opening it up. Where is it at?
Chris, I'm gonna have to hang up. But can I watch the replay on YouTube, babe?
Oh, of course.
Oh, awesome! Thank you so much. The grandkids just got here.
Okay, well, you enjoy your day.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, bye bye.
So does anybody else have anything else that they'd like to discuss?
No, but I might go steal it from you and update it just like you did.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be the only ones. I think Kimberly and Charlotte used something similar.
Yeah, and then we just updated it. It actually works pretty well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I think I'm going to head out too. I want to spend a little bit of time before we have to do our live, spend some time with Grace. So, love you guys.
Yeah. All right. You take care and have a good day.
You too.
So, I was just about to ask Jules how she's doing, and I think she just left too. So how about you, Rebecca, D, Kim? How you guys feeling? Faith is still here. I don't know if she's listening or not, though. Anybody have anything else they'd like to talk about?
I'm doing good.
I'm listening.
Okay, good. So does anybody have any prospects that they're talking to right now about joining?
I have one, but she always says she's broke and doesn't ever have the money. And I keep telling her that because she helps me with my life and when I'm at her house, and she'll describe jewelry because I'm always having trouble describing jewelry, and she'll describe jewelry really well. And I keep telling her she's really good at this. She's afraid to do lives, and I said you don't have to do lives to sell jewelry. And but trying to get her to do it has been really hard.
No, she ate like nothing.
So Rebecca, have you considered having her come over and doing a live with you?
She ate like nothing.
Well, can
She
I
didn't
have
even
her do that?
finish
Not
the meat or the
paparazzi consultant?
no.
Yeah. So what you can do is you
And
can ask her to come and join you in the live, and to help. Like what I would do is I would tell her, you know, if you come over to my live with me and you just basically just help me out, you know, whenever if I need a piece, you would take it for me. If somebody shares for me, if you write their names down, you know,
She
stuff
does
like
do
that,
the
and you bring her
share.
in that way. Yes,
I
you're
did
totally.
have her do the share.
I'm sorry.
I do have her write down the shares for me because it makes it easier, and she gets bored and lonely a lot because her boyfriend is going to school and working. So, and she's not working right now because of her disabilities.
Perfect. Perfect. So then if she's, but does she sit on camera with you when that happens?
No, she just does it later.
Okay. Well, if I were you, I would offer to bring her onto your live with you to help you. And as long as you're on your live, as long as you're on the camera, then you're compliant. You can have somebody else there with you. That's not a problem.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you just can't leave them alone and you walk away.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
The person that is the consultant has to be on camera. And that
I'll
goes
see
the
if
same
she's
for if
willing
you
to
have
do
kids.
that.
Right. So what you do then is you just bring her with you and have her give you a couple pieces here and there. Have her write down the shares as they come in, you know, and stuff like that. Help you as much as possible. Maybe give her a free piece of jewelry for doing so. And if you feel like, you know, maybe you should be like, you know what? Hey, you describe this piece. You describe these things so well. Describe this piece for me. Here, show this piece, you know, and maybe get her to go on camera with you just once. And even if she doesn't want to go on camera, even if she voices, you know, okay, well then here, just describe it for them. Tell them what you would tell me, how you describe that, and let her describe it so that they can hear her. That is excitement to a person that's not a consultant, and
Right.
that could cause them to want more of that, not even realizing it.
Okay. That's a good
And then
idea.
once you're done with your live and everything is done and over with, you can always ask her like, how'd you feel about that? Wasn't it fun? Did you enjoy it? You know?
Right. Right. Okay. Thank you. That's a good idea. Now that I know that she can go on.
For sure. How about you, Dee? Is there anything going on in your world over there? Or Kimberly?
Nope, not right now. I'm just cooking dinner. I'm cooking some shrimp and sausage.
Gotcha. Did you have any new prospects coming up at all? Or have you guys been talking to people?
Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Gotcha.
Trying.
I hear you. I've been reaching out to more and more people. I'm starting to implement the things that we're talking about in these trainings and using them myself. I've got about 3 or 4 people on the hook right now.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah. One of them is actually agreeing to come in and do a Zoom conference with us. I just got to set up the time with them. And then another one is planning on joining on Thursday. So I'm hoping.
I was supposed to do that party offline so someone could try to get, you know, the hostess applied to her starter kit at the end of the month, but now she's not answering.
Oh no, it happens. It does happen.